Hey YouTube, look at some more knives today. Beautiful day, first hint of spring that we've seen around here. Well, maybe second, third, but it's certainly shaping up to be a nicer time of year. As you probably could tell, I'm typically a Great Eastern cutlery kind of guy, but I had seen these knives looked at before, mentioned, once in a while one would catch my eye on a post on the forums or something, and just had me curious, so thought I would try it out. So of course we're talking about Rough Rider knives. So these knives are traditional knives. We'll right up here. Nothing too crazy. I don't know how much there is to take to the bank with this whole Teddy Roosevelt thing, but the bottom line is these are traditional pocket knives that come in at a way lower selling price than Great Eastern Cutlery, Queen, Shat Morgan, even a Case. We're talking pretty bottom dollar, and main reason is that these are made in China product. However, when I first heard that, I kind of dismissed it. Thought, this isn't something I'm interested in. But got curious one day, went to look at pricing, saw how inexpensive these knives were, saw that they're using materials like bone, nickel, silver, interesting shields, jigging patterns, varieties of materials, and even some patterns that maybe have been made in the brands we'd expect to see, but like the cotton sampler, for example. I think GEC made one. I forget the pattern number. But China. But anyway, you can't get them now. Not that I know about. So anyway, let's take a look at the knives. So the first one I got, it was actually two. It was the cotton sampler and this knife. Let me back up. Cotton sampler is their model RR1422. This guy. And I also got the RR1080, which they called an electrician's knife. I didn't have either of these patterns. Thought I'd take a look and see what we had here. So again, here's the cotton sampler. This is what they call Appaloosa jig bone. And pretty smooth. They've got the Rough Rider shield here. But nice coloration. The bone. It's not like a gloss, super high glossy. You can kind of see some rub marks there, but overall pretty good finish. Got lanyard hole. What I believe are brass pins, nickel silver bolsters. Relatively flush down the back, and they always do a kind of a match strike ground nail nick, and they have gloss blades. So let's see it's a half stop on this one, and very strong spring, not strong spring, good snap. Doesn't quite. Heard somebody call it the road runner pause at half stop. It fuzz to a stop and snaps shut pretty well. Gloss blades. No blade etch or anything here. Let's see if we can get it to focus. you go. Tang stamp there. Rough Rider. There you go. On the back there's sort of a laser etch, or if that's just done with a stamp. 440 steel. And then it's going to have the model number 1422 China. So this is a cotton sampler pattern. You know, from what I read, you went around to get to, if you're a purchaser, you go to the cotton auctions. Kind of, I guess we still have probably like fish auctions today in some parts of the world. You go buy large orders to take back to your restaurant or whatever. I guess that's what they would do with cotton. The farmers would have them. They have huge bales, and so they would go to have a knife dedicated to dig deep down in the bale, pull out a sample, and then my understanding is that this sort of elongated tang here, you see this is not sharp here, the edge starts right there. That's what they would use to, maybe on a fence post, something like that, and they'd kind of roll the cotton on that flat face there, and I guess they could determine something about the strength of the fibers there. By all means, I'm really reaching here. I'm no history buff. If anybody knows more, feel free to put it in the comments, and we'll talk about it there. But pretty interesting. It almost works like a really fat-bellied spay blade. It's got a pointed blade there, but not sharpened up top, flat up there. And then you've got the edge going all the way down. It could almost be like a Skinner, honestly. I don't know. But anyway, first look there. And the other one we've got to look at here is the Electrician's knife. This one is I believe they called it amber jig bone. Kind of a honeycomb, very, very regular jig, very regular pattern. But I don't know, it kind of, they're pretty consistent on cross brands with it. It kind of is a brand mark for them. They got this bomb-shaped shield here with, again, Rough Rider. On the back, you just have the jigging. Again, brass pins, lined nickel-silver bolsters, brass liners. See here. And again, they have the match strike nicks here. So this Electrician's knife is just a spear, kind of main blade, fairly typical. So there's, you got your Rough Rider horseshoe, gloss blade. We'll talk about that. Got the model number on there. This one also has a kind of something that's interesting. Looks like a screwdriver, but they've got an edge on there. You can catch that just right. I hadn't seen that before, so that's, I guess, your combo screwdriver / pin blade. It's kind of different. Don't miss that. And then the other reason I got it, because I didn't have a knife with pliers on it. This one actually has a set of pretty thick pliers here. I don't know how well these would really serve. Any kind of, got a little bit of a spring on there. I can hold it shut. I don't know how well that would really grab something really fine. But I guess if I needed to pinch a small nut or grab wire, something I needed to pull unexpectedly, I could use that. It's got a little bit of spring back, nothing crazy. This is fairly just kind of loose there, but it doesn't, well, it's got some play at the joint there, but pretty good sized pliers for a knife, and it does close up pretty flush there. So anyway, talk about what I found as far as actually getting the price points here. And really what it comes down to is these are not made small batches. They make a lot of these knives, and they do a lot of them very quickly, so there's a lot of inconsistencies. So for the cotton sampler here, you can see the bolsters there, pretty wildly different lengths there on those. Yeah, that's something you wouldn't see on a GEC knife. Centering's okay. It's a little off, but nothing crazy there. There's a touch of gapping in some places around the back spring. Pretty smooth overall. It's like I could feel like a tiny touch of blade play, just kind of a little click. Probably not enough that you could see anything, but you can feel it. You probably had that. You feel it in the knife, really. You know, it's not exactly flush back here either. You know, you got some marks there, but nothing egregious. You know, this is all done very smooth. There's a spot, one place on the thing here is ground kind of weird. I don't know if you can see on the back, like they took a lot more material off of the back of that pin than they meant to. See, right there too, just the way the buffering was, kind of buffing wheel going that way, pulling off more material. And again, with this one's got the gapping is much more apparent. You can see the big gaps there on the back springs. You know, bolsters are better here. It's gapping again, but they're still, you know, a little bit off. Again, I can feel kind of a click of play. But you know, I mean, nothing insane here. I mean, you gotta think about the price point of these. I mean, these two knives together were maybe $25 shipped total, and I think like this one's one of their a little bit more expensive models. Speaking of that, let me bring in another knife here. So I got this one next, the Peanut. This is their white, smooth white bone Peanut. And this one, however, cost me roughly in the area of $25, but that's not for the knife. I got this on eBay, where an artist probably orders these knives, you know, wholesale or heck, even just retail, and then she does scrimshaw and then resells them. Really like this. This is I believe the lady's name is Donna Ruprecht. We can get it to focus there. Really nice lighthouse scene. I really liked it. You know, I'm trying the best I can to get the detail out here. Find that minimum focus. There we go. So you got the clouds, everything in there. Really liked it, and I didn't have a Peanut, so you know this particular one's pretty good about the gapping actually. It's a little uneven here at the height of the springs on the blades, but you know, I mean it's a Peanut. It's what you expect to find for a Peanut. And then I don't know if I can get it. Yeah, a little pin blade. So, what do I think about these knives? I like them. They're definitely going to probably be more like a, you know, Matchbox car kind of thing, right? Like you can get a lot of these for cheap. You know, I want to say you could get this same Peanut minus the scrimshaw for $8 or something before shipping. You know, not a lot, you know. Where I think that this is an ideal application for somebody who really likes traditional knives is it gives you that chance to try a new pattern that maybe you don't have, you've never handled, you know, without a huge investment. You know, like this is a fairly, you know, abnormal style of knife. You know, maybe you don't want to put $100, $80 into one of these, but you kind of wanted to see what it was like. You find this knife for $14, $16, and you know, you're gonna get that idea. I mean, the edges on these were very sharp out of the box. I can't really speak to edge retention. I haven't really used these very much yet, but they do come very sharp. A little bit of uneven grinding on the blade. I'm sure it's somebody's job to go through as many of these an hour as they can. But they are very sharp. Oh yeah, blade rub is definitely a thing on a lot of these. So those markings there are from this thing closing down and rubbing in two different places along here. You can kind of almost hear it when it comes down to rub there. So that's another one of your fit finish critiques. But I mean, that said, I've got some GECs that have some blade rub. Not that bad, but you know, usually a hair. But anyway, that's what I would say. If you kind of want a pattern that, you know, if you don't have case peanut and you kind of wonder what that's like, but you maybe want to play with it before you spend a lot of money on one, take a look there. They've got a lot of patterns, trappers, different things. Pretty easy to get. You know, you're not looking for a you know, super hard to get pattern or anything like that. I mean, there's a lot of different patterns available, different cover materials. They've got a smooth tobacco bone, which I think looks really nice. I might have to get one just to see what that looks like. But yeah, I'd say give them a shot. You know, it's such a small investment compared to what a lot of us who are into knives are used to purchasing, used to making to make a purchase. So you're not really gonna be upset with it after you get one of these. You're gonna get it. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna have good materials. It's gonna cut stuff. You know, and for the neighborhood of $8-10 for most of their models, I don't know how you're gonna be, you know, that upset with yourself. So try them out. Thanks.